Hey y'all, before this video starts, I have an exciting opportunity to announce. For the next 10 days, ending on September 30th, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, I'm hosting a competition with a cash prize of $40 USD. I can pay you with Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, and cryptocurrency. What I need you to do is to post clips from my YouTube channel on Instagram Reels or on TikTok. On Instagram, you need to tag me at ResidentRaw2 so I can see the reel. On TikTok, you need to tag me at Resident Raw so I can see your TikTok. At the end of these 10 days, on September 30th at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, the person who has the TikTok or Reel with the most likes is going to win the $40 cash prize. Alright, y'all, today we're watching a video by Ragusea, however the fuck you pronounce that. And this video is actually kind of old. It's about 5 years ago, but this is like kind of banking on what I've said in my other last two videos. Like 5 years ago, dude, people were falling for this propaganda so bad. So this video is some fucking sponsored shill propaganda. So let's see what big corporations want us to eat.
Of all the fad diets that have come and gone through the years, the raw and paleo diets might just be the stupidest. Don't get me started on keto, that we will get back to that. I'd call raw and paleo the stupidest because they are predicated on some very suspect notions of how our bodies work and how they evolved to work that way. We'll start with the raw diet. Certainly, you can live a long, healthy life eating all kinds of diets, and any diet that restricts refined carbohydrates and
This guy kind of looks like a really chopped version of Markiplier. Have you noticed that?
other processed foods will probably do some good for people like me living overfed lives. So,
Bro, the reason processed food is bad for you is not because you're overfed. You're not even overfed. This dude is like a healthy body weight. Like, that's how you're supposed to look generally to be healthy, more or less. I don't know what he's talking about, overfed. Bro, processed food is so bad because it literally gives you fucking cancer, diabetes, every fucking disease under the sun. Like, if you notice, in like the parts of the countries that you have like the most like freak of natures, like the most fucking mutated looking ass fucking people, like California, they live off fucking Oreos and Fruity Pebbles and fucking bread with seed oil mayonnaise and shit like that. So he tripping, bro. He tripping for real.
whatever works for you works. Just don't let anyone tell you that a raw foods diet is more natural.
Bro, that's so stupid. Of course it's more natural. Name me one example of cooked food in a natural setting. Listen, I don't care too much about nature. I care about what's healthy or not. But let's talk about the perspective about natural. Does cooked food exist in nature? No. When the fuck will you ever see a cooked steak in nature? It doesn't exist. It's not fucking, it does not exist. There's nothing natural about cooked food. So this is fucking ridiculous.
Because we humans have been cooking our food since before we were Homo sapiens.
That's total nonsense. I can't talk about this too much, but like evolution, bro, total fucking nonsense. It's all, oh, we turned from monkeys into human. Total fucking nonsense. It's total nonsense. It's literally the most ridiculous shit ever, bro. Like the fucking Hindu religion's explanation of how we came about is more fucking believable than, oh, we were fucking monkeys and then over like 2 billion gabillion years we turned into Homo sapiens. It's fucking bullshit. It's total nonsense.
In fact, cooking might be part of why we are Homo sapiens.
It's so bullshit. Oh yeah, burning your food made us go from monkeys into humans. It's ridiculous. It's totally ridiculous.
What I just said is known in the field of anthropology as the cooking hypothesis.
Notice how it's a hypothesis. The difference between a hypothesis and a theory is a hypothesis is something you just made up. I have a hypothesis that tomorrow I'll have 10 hookers laying in my fucking bed. But that's a fucking hypothesis. I have no evidence of it. A theory would actually be something like, oh, I'm gonna go to work on Monday because I have fucking evidence, because every single fucking Monday for the past 3 or 4 weeks I've been going to work on Monday. That's a fucking theory. A theory is something you can back up with evidence. A hypothesis is something you just fucking made up.
And while the lifestyles of our Paleolithic ancestors may differ quite a bit from our own, the reasons why cooking was advantageous to them still apply to us. Scholars believe the human ancestor Homo erectus started eating meat about 2.5 million years ago.
Man.
They invented
So bullshit.
cooking about 1 million years ago. Cooking became a wide
Oh, wow. So we were eating meat raw for the majority of our fucking lifespan. Wow. Who could have guessed? But I mean, this whole chart is bullshit. This is all based on carbon dating, which is super bullshit. I don't know how much I can talk about this on YouTube without getting banned, but I don't believe any of this nonsense whatsoever.
Widespread practice
I could definitely talk about it on my school, though.
around 250,000 years
Maybe I'll do that. How about that? With this video, I'm going to release a video talking about what I believe when it comes to evolution.
ago, and that's about when the first anatomically modern humans appeared.
They don't look that different to me, dude. Fuck me. Is that supposed to be like the Iceman, Ozzy the Iceman or whatever?
First Homo sapiens. These are all interrelated events, or so goes the hypothesis.
The hypothesis being that once we started cooking, we were able to extract a lot more energy, and that really helped further push us into sort of being the human entities that we now understand ourselves.
That's total nonsense. She looks so weak, man. She looks like if I hugged her too hard, I'd like break her spine.
To be.
This is Dr. Jessica Ham, an anthropology professor
Oh, yeah, of course. Let's get our fucking paid shill. Of course, man.
at Oxford College of Emory University.
When we shifted from eating a fully raw foods diet into a diet in which meat would have been part of the diet and cooking of foods would have been part of the diet, we're extracting more energy, our guts are shrinking.
It's total fucking nonsense. They're just making this shit up. Like, oh yeah, of course, cauterized burnt food takes less energy to digest. It's not like your natural diet is perfect for you and requires the perfect amount of energy. It's fucking nonsense. It's total nonsense. Anyone knows if you eat a cooked steak, it's time to go to nap, bro. It's nap time if you eat a big old cooked steak. But if you eat a huge raw steak, you'll be fucking ready to run through some drywall.
Sort of the shape and size of our teeth is also changing because we're not, having to grind away at raw things.
Bro, you don't have to grind away at nothing, at raw things, bro. Raw meat, you don't even have to chew, bro. The Inuit don't chew. If you look at the Inuit tribe, they don't chew at all. They cut with the knife. They actually have this like specific blade thing where they'll cut raw meat like that and then they'll just swallow it whole. That's how you're supposed to do it. Even Ogenus himself recommends, he's like, don't chew your raw meat because the enzymes in your saliva are actually alkalizing. So it's best to just swallow it whole. You don't need to grind away at raw things.
Indeed, compare yourself
It shows like how little she understands about cooking because cooked food is hard. You have to grind away at cooked food, not raw food.
to this cow, or this buffalo, or this goat. Your digestive system is way smaller proportional to your body. This goat needs major internal hardware to break raw greenery down into nutrition its body can actually use. Unlike
Yes, because they have to ferment it and all shit like that. Because they aren't carnivores. The reason carnivores, listen, this world is built so beautifully and so perfectly. Carnivores have larger brains so they can hunt animals easier. And in return, their digestive system is smaller and they digest food better so they don't have to spend all day chewing their food. Because this is what herbivores do. They spend all day eating food because it takes so much work. Because that's just how it is when you're eating these vegetables. Because you have to ferment them and do a bunch of shit in order to make them actually nutritious. This is why the smartest animals on the planet are all carnivores, all of them.
Like goatee there, I don't need to spend literally my entire day chewing my cud, and my body hardware doesn't need to be monopolized with the constant work of breaking it down. Cooking allows us to take more nutrient-dense foods and to pre-digest them outside our body.
No fucking, bro, it makes no fucking sense at all. Your digestive system is so fucking complicated. Enzymes and your hydrochloric acid, so much goes on inside of your fucking digestive system. More than just, oh, it's you gotta burn your food and it pre-digests it. It's total nonsense. But now that I realize that, I think what he's talking about raw diets, he's talking like exclusively about like raw vegan diets. He's not even mentioning raw meat. This isn't even something the normie brain can fathom.
Break them down in the pot so that our bodies will have less work to do once we actually eat. As the hypothesis goes, this innovation was so powerful that it allowed our anatomy to evolve.
So all of those shifts in our biology then leads energy to go up to our brains and to sort of expand our capacity, our brain capacity.
That's total fucking nonsense because even the foods are talking about cooking, leafy greens and all that, don't have any calories. You know, something like 30-40% of your caloric intake daily goes to your brain because your brain is super calorie demanding, and you get these calories from fat and carbohydrates, which are turned into fat inside of the body. People don't even realize the reason we eat carbohydrates is because they turn into fat inside of the body. That is literally why. Like rice and bread and all this crap, it's all survival food. When you run out of animal fat and you have no other way to maintain yourself, then you eat bread and rice to keep yourself alive.
Less body mass and time dedicated to digestion means more can be dedicated to other activities, like designing ziggurats or new and terrible ways to kill each other, all hallmarks of the civilization's cooking.
It's funny he's showing all these photos. All these civilizations, well, specifically like the Native Americans, they were all on ketogenic, highly raw diets, bruh.
Allowed us to build. When we jump from physical anthropology to cultural anthropology, there's a whole other argument that says cooking allowed communities to extract more from their shared food supply, thus freeing up some members of that society to be architects and soldiers and...
How does that make any fucking sense? Cooking literally takes more fucking work than eating raw food. Oh yeah, instead of putting the raw meat in my mouth and swallowing it, let's fucking burn it for 20, 30 minutes. Hell, I've seen, bro, I'm so like out of the loop for cooking food, I forget this, but some people prepare their meat like 2 days in advance. They'll like cook it like 2 days in advance and then do some slow simmering bullshit or whatever. Nigga, it takes like fucking hours. These people spend like fucking hours doing this shit. It's like, oh yeah, of course it's gonna free people to be soldiers and what. It's total fucking nonsense. It makes no fucking sense.
Stonemasons and priests and blacksmiths, instead of everybody just being a farmer. Dr. Ham herself is a cultural anthropologist, and while she's actually a little skeptical that cooking played such a direct role in our physical evolution...
Based? Wow, why is he fucking going against the expert? The expert right there just said, oh yeah, cooking probably wasn't even that important. Bro, are you fucking bro, this is like the most retarded shit. Like the Kyrgyzstan video was like so bad, but this might even be worse, bro. These people are not that intelligent.
She's absolutely convinced it was huge in our social evolution.
Bro, no, it wasn't. It's so it's so stupid. Oh yeah, everyone gets around the fire and it's good for our social evolution. Bro, people back then were so tight with each other. Like cooked food causes... So, if anything, cooking of food would make people fucking fight and go against each other. There is something that I do think has a very important social evolution, and it's psychedelic compounds. I think human beings eating psychedelic mushrooms and shit like that was incredibly impactful on human social evolution. If you look at ancient cave paintings, humans are drawing photos of mushrooms and drugs and shit like that because drugs are something that makes you innately social. Even alcohol like makes people social and shit like that. I think these drugs had like a way bigger social impact, and I'm not saying it was good or bad. I'm just saying if you want to talk about social impact of things humans consumed, I think hallucinogenic drugs and drugs in general were way more impactful than burning your fucking food.
Cooking is an inherently social act. So
no, the fuck it's not, bro. Who the fuck have you ever seen? Oh yeah, like when you're frying a fucking steak on the pan. Oh yeah, I want to be social. I want to talk. You can't even hear anyone over the of the steak. It's total bullshit.
So, you know, to what degree should we also be thinking about how the socialness of cooking was also part of helping us to become human, helping us to sort of work with an inherent ability to be cooperative and social with one another. You look at cultures around the world, and all cultures are cooking their food. And there are many food cultures, I would say perhaps contemporary North America.
Depends. If you're biased and you want to look at like modern cultures, yeah, almost every single culture cooks a food, but you're ignoring like the Inuit. The Inuit don't fucking cook anything. Just ignoring facts.
Food culture being one of them, where you see a combination of cooked and raw eating. In many cultures, raw foods are not a thing. For example, where I do fieldwork in Ghana,
What is this white girl doing with all those big black men? Let me tell you right now, a huge red flag, bro. If you ever see a woman that does this shit, goes to Africa to like hang out with all these fucking like black people, you know exactly what she's doing.
Like, you would not be considered to have eaten a meal if you ate raw food. Food there is considered to be cooked. For those times where I was craving a salad.
Of course, in the fucking cultures where these people don't even know what the wheel is, where these fucking people kill each other and drink fucking like Coca-Cola that's sponsored by the fucking UN. They get these like Wonder Bread shipments. Of course, this fucking low IQ sub-Saharan community, they consider real food to be cooked. I mean, do you not like fucking are you not thinking? Do you not see this?
I would kind of secretly go to the market to buy vegetables and then hide out in my room and eat my salad by myself because I knew that it would be mocked.
Hold on, we need to have a rewind on that. Did you see the way she laughed?
Secretly go to the market to buy vegetables and then hide out in my room and eat my salad by myself because I knew that it would
Tough watch.
But the Ghanaian people might be onto something, because cooking has nutritional benefits that are still very relevant to us people living today. And we should discuss those right after I thank the sponsor of this video, Trade Coffee. Coffee.
Oh, wow. That's fucking hilarious. Wow. Cooked food gave us so much energy that this fucking idiot has to drink coffee. Oh, yeah. Cooked food gives you so much fucking energy. You're so how stupid do you have to be, bro? How stupid do you have to fucking be? Oh, my good lord.
And making coffee is, by the way, an example of the extractive powers of cooking in water specifically. The advent of things like stone basins and...
Bro, the reason you have to cook coffee beans is because they're literally fucking inedible raw. Like, you have to break it down slightly and then release the fucking, like, the caffeine and the other molecules that are in there into the water, and you drink that.
Water-safe pottery really would have allowed humans to get more from their food by boiling it. In our romantic imaginations, ancient humans are roasting meat on a stick over an open flame. But with a tough piece of wild animal, it's amazing how little you can get off the bone this way.
Yeah, it's true. It's totally ridiculous. Like, humans never cooked anything, because when you cook, you're losing nutrition and you're making it harder to eat.
But cook the same chunk in water for a few hours and everything literally falls off the bone. Plus tons of proteins and
well, that's because everything is super denatured and fucking destroyed.
other nutrients lost in cooking are conveniently dissolved in the broth, which you can drink. And this is the moment when a raw foods advocate would say, hey, but wait a minute, cooking destroys some nutrients. Well, that's true.
Oh, yeah?
You lose some nutrients every time you cook
Who the fuck is this guy? This guy looks fucked up.
food, but the losses are very
Yo, this guy looks fucked up. This guy looks like fucking Skullface from Metal Gear.
small, but the benefits of cooking far outweigh any negatives.
That's Dr. Tim Crow, a longtime nutrition researcher and host of the Thinking Nutrition podcast.
And the benefits are you actually make some nutrients more available.
No, you don't. That's total nonsense. You make all the nutrients less available.
You make some food more easily digestible, and you actually make it safer.
The only foods that are more easily digestible like cooking is certain plant foods, like starches specifically. And yeah, this is why cooking came about. The reason cooking even exists is because humans were starving to death, so they pulled roots out of plants and then they waved them over a fire to make them easier to digest. And that way you can absorb a couple carbohydrates, the body turns it into fat, and you stay alive for a few days.
As well, because you kill off a lot of the bacteria that causes
Don't even get me started with the bacteria. Don't even get me started.
food poisoning, which is a major cause of illness and sickness in the world.
Don't even get me
The
started.
latter benefit might be part of why cooking is particularly important in Ghana and other developing countries, where food and water supplies might not always be so
Look at these cooked food enjoyers, bro. Look at the guy in the back. He looks like a crackhead.
sterile. But Lord knows we have our own food safety issues here in the United States, the land of factory farmed everything. Let's get back though to the first benefit
Okay, I mean, who cares, bro? Factory farming is like not the end of the world.
Crow mentioned, bioavailability. Just because you cram food down your gullet doesn't mean your body is able to actually use it.
That's true.
So when you cook food, there's some nutrients you do maybe absorb less of, but there's others that you absorb more of. So
You absorb less of everything.
it's a case of swings and roundabouts. And I'll use a good example. There's a vitamin, one of the vitamin A family members called lycopene. It's a vitamin A pigment. It gives foods, they're red color, particularly tomatoes. They're high in lycopene. When
That's true.
you cook tomatoes, you actually absorb more of this vitamin A.
No, it's total nonsense. Well, actually, it's possible you can absorb more. Actually, he's right. It's true you absorb more lycopene, but the problem is lycopene is highly toxic, and this is why you don't absorb it when you consume it raw, because the body does not want this lycopene, because vitamin A in plants is highly toxic. And when you cook vitamin A, which lycopene isn't real vitamin A, but whatever, when you cook vitamin A, it becomes incredibly toxic. I mean, this is why you never want to cook tomatoes, because you literally turn them toxic as fuck.
Antioxidant into your bloodstream. So that's a nice example.
Another example is legumes. It's virtually impossible to digest beans and lentils and such without cooking them first.
That's true, but again, this is survival food. You don't want to be eating this crap unless you have nothing else at all to eat.
Now, there are some people who say they like the raw foods diet precisely because of reduced bioavailability. They're hoping that it'll help them make some reductions of their own.
You actually
I don't think anyone ever says that.
do absorb some of the nutrients less because you don't break down the cell walls. And interestingly, it's actually thought that the potential calories in some of these foods, you don't absorb them all. And so a lot of people, when they go on a raw food diet, they can lose weight. Number one,
Well, another reason why people lose weight on raw food is just because they're not eating this hyper-processed junk that tastes really fucking good. Because, of course, like McDonald's, Burger King, KFC all taste really good because it's literally fucking engineered to taste amazing. So you can just keep eating this crap and you won't stop. But then when you switch to your natural diet, like raw food, which is where your body will only eat what it needs, of course you'll lose weight.
of course, it limits their food choices. They stop eating a lot of junk food, and maybe they actually absorb a few less calories, which in the Western world is a good thing.
But come on, please don't follow a diet plan that depends upon you simply passing perfectly good food without actually using it. That's just dumb. Speaking of dumb, the paleo diet.
I mean, that's true, but if you eat raw meat and raw dairy, it's all perfectly digestible.
The diet that eschews grains and legumes and dairy on the basis that these foods were supposedly not consumed by our Stone Age ancestors. We're not meant to eat them, these people say. But there is archaeological evidence of humans eating grains, for example, deep in the Paleolithic era.
I mean, that's true. It's totally true. But again, this is all survival food. Humans aren't stupid. Humans will eat starches if it keeps them alive. And of course they did.
Before the first agricultural revolution. And
by the way, you do have enzymes in your saliva to digest starch.
Of course, many of the vegetables that paleo dieters do eat did not exist at all in the Stone Age. They're modern creations, the product of millennia of selective breeding by humans. But again, as Dr. Crow says, it's undeniable that people living in affluent societies are eating way too many calories from things like refined carbohydrates. So any diet that knocks those things out is likely going to do a lot of good for someone like me, which brings us finally to the
Bro, you are not overfed.
Fad diet du jour, the ketogenic diet, keto, another low-carb diet.
Keto is like literally the only the raw food diet is a raw vegetable diet, and paleo is retarded as hell. But keto is like the most reasonable diet here because humans have always been in ketosis.
Like Atkins and paleo that restricts starch and sugar. The modern ketogenic diet was invented in the early 20th century not as a treatment for obesity, but as a preventive treatment for seizures.
It's true, yeah, I know, and I know about this. So like the protocol for eating was like, oh, they have to eat a bunch of whipped cream and stuff like that. But why do you think it prevents seizures, bro? It's because carbohydrates are literally fucking harmful. Don't be a fucking idiot. Don't be a fucking dumbass.
If you're a child and you have epilepsy, the ketogenic diet has been known for decades and decades and decades to help control epileptic seizures in children. That's the end of the medical use of the ketogenic.
No, it's not, bro. Why do you think these children get seizures when they eat carbohydrates? It's because they're fucking harmful, bro. And of course, it's mostly the cooked carbohydrates because even in this keto plan I've seen, they do have carbohydrates for the children, but they're in raw form. They're fruits. Like raw carbohydrates in excess can be harmful, but consumed in moderate amounts and healthy amounts, like in milk and a little bit of fruit, a few bites of fruit here, it's not harmful, but when you have this excess of carbohydrates and low fat, of course, your body's fucked up.
Ketogenic diet as far as having evidence for a benefit.
Basically, if you replace nearly all of the carbohydrate calories in your diet with fat calories, you will force your body to produce these things called ketone bodies that your brain will eat in place of the blood sugar, glucose, that your brain would normally eat. And this, for science reasons, helps to prevent epileptic seizures. And people have now seized on keto as a fad diet to lose weight. The issue is very few people who think they're doing keto are actually eating the extreme fat to carb ratio needed to put your body into ketosis.
Oh, wow. So is this must be the diet for these epileptic children. Heavy whipped cream, sugar-free gelatin, whipped cream, cooked broccoli, that's not good. Grilled or baked chicken, that's okay. American cheese, 6 grams, that's really small.
Here's an example of an actual keto diet designed for a 5-year-old kid with epilepsy.
Heavy whipped cream, strawberries, cantaloupe, or pineapple, scrambled eggs. Oh, it's a 5-year-old. That's why. Okay, that's why this is so small. That makes sense. That sounds like a good diet, bro. If I was eating a normie diet, fuck, I'd love that. Whipped cream, scrambled eggs, cheese, butter, strawberries, pineapple. That's busting.
Kids literally have to have heavy whipping cream with every meal.
And unless you are a hardcore athlete, particularly maybe in elite athlete who is really focused on eating that way, you have a very obsessive compulsive personality, few people stick to a true ketogenic diet for more than 3 to 6 months, they start introducing carbohydrates back into the diet because, let's face it, bread and pasta is pretty awesome.
Hell no, it's not awesome, dude. Nobody on these diets introduce bread or pasta. What they'll introduce is a little bit of fruit, a little bit of honey, and it's because they're very rich in enzymes and they're good for you. Nobody, bro, there's tons of people who have spent decades on keto diets with zero bread or pasta. I mean, fuck, I've been on a zero bread or pasta diet for 4 fucking years.
So if keto works for you, by all means do it, but few people actually do keto as it's designed, and that's to get into ketosis, which is about 50 grams of carbohydrates per day, and that's not much carbohydrates.
Dr. Crow.
I don't know, bro. If you're not eating bread or pasta or any of that crap, getting to 50 grams a day is a bit challenging.
Is one of like 100 nutrition experts I've talked to at this point in my life who all say different shades of the same thing. The problem in your diet probably isn't the bread you're baking at home or the
It's literally the bread.
fresh pastas you're making at home.
It
It's
is
the
also
processed food. It's the sugar.
Bro, bread and pasta is fucking processed. What are you on about?
Sugary junk you buy off the shelf, fast food burgers and fries. So any diet plan that knocks most of that out of your diet is probably going to do you a world of good, and that is the only fad diet.
I mean, it's true, home cooked meals will be better than fast food, but it's not a huge difference. And the best home cooked meals, if you want to do a cooked diet, is, fuck it, I'll explain this some other time, but just don't eat bread and pasta like that, bro. It's still processed garbage.
Diet you need to know about. Also, coffee is good. Thanks again to Trade for
Also, coffee is, I'm sure you guys notice a pattern. All these videos are always like sponsored and shit like that. It's fucking evil. This is all business, but you know how it is. I hope you guys enjoyed that video, and don't forget to participate in this competition if you want to win $40. Hey, post some clips from my YouTube channel on Instagram Reels or on TikTok, and make sure you tag me for Instagram at ResidentRaw2, for TikTok at ResidentRaw. I'm also going to announce the winner on one of my social medias, so hey, I hope you win. Thank you. I love you. Bye.